Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. So I've been here in the comic book room for a couple of hours, and I've been doing a mixture of things, kind of moving some things around, getting a little organized, doing a lot of bagging and boarding of comics that are in my bins, just to make them look a little bit better. And as I was bagging and boarding and labeling some books, I decided that I was actually going to turn the camera on and show you guys a random run of comics that I don't think that I've shown in a while, and it's actually grown. This run has grown just a little bit. I've added some new books to it, and I decided that I was actually just going to do a quick episode of the random run. And this is a series that I did almost a year ago. Wasn't well received, but we're going to try it again. We are going to try it again. And essentially what a random run is where I share books from my collection that aren't necessarily the books that always get highlighted. They're not the ones that get hung on a wall in many cases. And so the series that I'm going to be showing you is a good series. It's just not the main series. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people know that I'm an Amazing Spider-Man guy. They know that I love Spider-Man, and I'm always talking about Amazing Spider-Man specifically. And I've actually had a lot of people ask me whether I actually collect any other Spider-Man titles. And the truth is that I do. And so the series that I'm going to be showing you today is the Web of Spider-Man. And so what I've decided to do is to basically show you the first 10 books in the series. And then I'll show you some additional covers that are essentially ones that I like and or comics that are keys within the Web of Spider-Man title. So hopefully that makes sense. But there's a nice stack of books here. I actually have a lot more Web of Spider-Man books than I thought that I had. I mean, I knew I had a lot, but there's actually a healthy amount here. So without any further ado, we are going to jump into this episode of the Random Run. The very first book that I want to show you is Web of Spider-Man #1. I actually have 2 copies of this book, and both of them are actually in pretty decent shape. This one could potentially, with a clean and a press, I might be able to get a 9.6 out of this one. The series in this book particularly aren't very expensive, and so a 9.8 is still reasonably priced, but like I said, this one's probably about a 9.6, if not a 9.4. I need to take a closer look at it, but definitely a really cool book. And to be honest with you, I have not read this series in a very long time, and I'm actually thinking about reading it from the beginning all over again, just to kind of reminisce. Here is issue #2. And if you guys have been watching me for any length of time, you know that Web of Spider-Man is a series that I used to buy as a kid because I couldn't really afford Amazing Spider-Man, so I used to buy a lot of Web of Spider-Man, but mostly the later issues of Web of Spider-Man. So here is issue #3, and maybe this is why I like the Vulture so much, because so many of these early Web of Spider-Man actually featured the Vulture. Here is issue #4, really cool cover right there featuring Doc Ock. That's actually a pretty cool cover. Speaking of Doc Ock, here's issue #5. I actually have 3 copies of issue number 5. This is probably the best one. My original from my childhood is pretty beat, and I think it was beat when I bought it. It's in rough shape, but I still have the original from back when I was a kid, which I think is pretty cool. Here's issue #6. Really cool cover right here. Here's issue #7 featuring the Hulk. And Christmas is canceled. That's what that one says. Really cool cover right here. This is issue #8. This is covered by Vess. And I should also say that issue #1 was actually a painted cover, also by the same artist, Vess. Here is issue #9. Love the black costume here. Here is issue #10. This actually reminds me of an Atlas Comics cover where I think it was Target is kind of in this position. That's what this one reminds me of, but that's issue #10 of Web of Spider-Man. And so now that I've looked at the first 10 issues, what I'm going to start doing is touching on a couple of comics here that are keys and or covers that I just kind of dig. So this first one is actually a retcons key, which is really interesting because in this issue there was a shadow that was seen. And because of retconning over the last couple of years, it has been deemed that the shadow that was in this particular book was the shadow of Eddie Brock. And so I'm talking about Web of Spider-Man number 18. Definitely a cool cover. This book, I wish that I had better copies of it because this one is definitely a little rough. Some stains and things like that on this book, but wish I had a better copy of it. Here is issue number 20, and what makes this one special is that it's actually the 25th anniversary of Marvel. Web of Spider-Man number 20, cool cover right there. Here is Web of Spider-Man number 24, and this is actually a cameo appearance of Venom. I actually have 2 copies of that particular book. This next one, issue number 29, I don't think is a key, but I think it's a cool cover. It might also be the first time that Wolverine appeared in Web of Spider-Man, so I don't think that makes it a key, but in my mind, it makes it a really cool book. So Web of Spider-Man, number 29. All right, the next couple of books I think are pretty cool. This is Web of Spider-Man number 31. This is the part 1 of Craven's The Last Hunt. Really cool book right there. Here is issue number 32. This is part 4. Mike Zeck cover right here. Absolutely love this cover. My buddy Randy Resnake actually did a recreation of this cover for me that I have in the portfolio sitting behind me. Definitely dig that one. Here is issue number 36, and this is actually the first appearance of Tombstone, I do believe. Really cool cover right there. Some stains on this one. I wish I had better copies of some of these, but you know, you make do with what you have, right? Here is issue number 37. And this, I don't think there's anything significant about this book other than that cover just being an awesome cover. I really dig how they decided to do the cover in all black with some red and a little bit of white. I absolutely love this cover. All right, so we are kind of getting into the home stretch here. This next one is Web of Spider-Man number 48. This is the first Demi-Goblin, and there's a little bit of confusion with this one. I actually need to go back and do some more research on this because I have another that's also the first appearance of Demi-Goblin, and so I'm not sure whether this is the first appearance of the merged character, and the next one is when the character, the Demi-Goblin, has been separated. So I need to do a little bit more research on that one to clarify what I have labeled on here. So this one is issue number 50. It's just a cool cover, and it's very reminiscent of Amazing Spider-Man 300. It is a giant size, a Web of Spider-Man number 50. And again, just a cool cover that is definitely a homage, if you will, to Amazing Spider-Man number 300. Here is Web of Spider-Man number 70. I actually did not think that I had this book in my bins, and today I discovered that I did. It is the first appearance of Spider-Hulk. Very cool right here. And I'm so glad that I did not go out and buy this thing because I think the prices on this book have actually gone up. But luckily enough, I had a copy of it in the bin. So definitely a cool thing to find. Here is issue number 81. This is the first appearance of Bloodshed. Don't know a thing about Bloodshed, but Key Collector app says that this is a key, so it gets a label. Here's the other book that I was referring to a second ago. This is Web of Spider-Man number 86. This is also the first appearance of the Demi-Goblin. And again, maybe one is the, combined character. The next one is a separated. I don't know. I will absolutely dig into it just as soon as this video is wrapped up. Here is, and again, this is another one that I want to read a little bit closely because what I found in Key Collector app was just a little confusing. This is actually Web of Spider-Man number 90. This is the first appearance of a Venom Galactus character. So I'm not quite sure what this one is all about, but I will dig into it. And again, you can't really beat shiny hologram stuff on a cool book. Here is a Web of Spider-Man number 97. This is actually the first appearance of the guy that becomes the, I think it's Night Watch? Yeah, Night Watch. Dr. Kevin Trench. Dr. Kevin Trench right here. This is actually his first appearance. And then this is actually the first appearance of him in costume as Night Watch. This is issue number 99. And then here is issue number 100. This is the first appearance, I do believe, of the Spider Armor MK1. This is actually a book that someone sent over to me recently. And cool to have received it because I actually do not have a copy of this in the run. So I'm very thankful that someone sent this one over to me. Next up, A Web of Spider-Man number 101. This is actually part 2 of Maximum Carnage. So definitely a cool book right there. A lot of people absolutely love Venom. So that's a cool book to have. Here is Web of Spider-Man number 118. This is the first appearance of the Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly. And then here is the second appearance of the Scarlet Spider, Web of Spider-Man number 119. So there you have it. That is my random run of Web of Spider-Man. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, I definitely want to encourage you to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment behind. If you're interested in seeing more random run, let me know. Again, this was a failure before, but maybe things have changed and maybe now it is time for the random run to make a return. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Take care.